In this video, we'll be going through an example of estimating loan payments. A loan debt of $30,000 is paid over 15 years at an interest rate of 5.6% in monthly installments. So let's break this problem down in a few steps. First, let's estimate what the amount of a monthly payment would be with no interest included yet. If the loan is going to be paid off over 15 years, and we know there are 12 months in each year, there will be a total of 180 payments. A quick estimate might be the $30,000 total dollars over 200 payments. So a little easy division, and we can see 300 divided by 2, or about $150. And so dividing 30,000 by a slightly smaller number, only 180, gives us a little bit larger monthly payment, about $167. Now let's figure the interest into these payments. A simple interest calculation would be the full balance 30,000 times 5.6% as a decimal times the total number of years 15. So the total interest owed would be $25,200, and split up over 180 total monthly payments is $140. So our first estimation for a monthly payment will include the $167 toward the balance and $140 toward interest, for a total of about $307. We could look at this estimation as an overestimate, because we calculated 5.6% of the full loan amount, $30,000. But as payments are made, this balance will decrease. So future payments might be calculated by a percent of a smaller amount, a smaller reference value. So the interest would be less than what we first calculated as a percent of 30,000, the entire balance. So to recap, we found that the monthly payment without considering interest, just to pay off the $30,000 balance, would be $167 approximately. Working in 5.6% interest, using a simple interest calculation on the full balance $30,000, gave us a monthly payment of about $307. And we know this is an overestimate. So another strategy that we could use when calculating the interest would be to not use the full balance of $30,000, but to think about what would be the average balance of this loan as it's being paid off. We're still at a 5.6% interest rate over 15 years, but what would be the average balance? Well, if it starts out at $30,000, and by the end of the 15 years, that balance should be close to zero, and the average amount would be right at $15,000 in the middle. So another strategy to get an estimate that's more in the middle rather than an overestimate would be to take the average balance, half of the entire loan amount. And we get $12,600 as a result. Divided over 180 monthly payments equals $70. $70 combined with the $167 toward the balance gives us a total of a $237 monthly payment. Here's the quick recap of those results. At an interest rate of 5.6%, our high estimate was a monthly payment of $307, and using an average balance of $15,000, we calculated for a middle estimate $237 for the monthly payment. Now we're going to investigate the results when we take the interest rate and cut it in half, down to 2.8%. We'll go through some similar calculations to compare a monthly payment when the interest rate is now cut in half. Our high estimate will take the full balance $30,000 times the interest rate times 15 years. We should see that this will give us half of what we found when we used a 5.6% interest rate, because all we've done is taken the interest rate and cut it in half. So that means our result will be the same as what we had before, cut in half. We found $25,200 interest last time, so now when we divide by 2, we're down to $12,600. Over 180 monthly payments, it's $70. Combined with the $167 per month toward the balance, we have an estimated monthly payment of $237. To get a more average estimate, we'll take what might be the average loan balance of only $15,000. And same thing this time, we're going to end up with half of what we had before, $6,300 total interest, and spread out over 180 monthly payments, we get $35. Combined with the $167 toward the balance, we get an estimated monthly payment of $202. It's important for us to see that cutting the interest rate in half does not mean that we cut the monthly payments in half. It only means that we are cutting the interest in half, but the amount toward the balance stays the same. So both times, we still had to add to the $167 that goes to the balance. It's the amount of the interest that we added in, which was cut in half.